Oh, it's one. Give me 1 second here, folks. Stephen. Okay. Are we, NCTV, are we live?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are.
Okay, thanks. Okay, folks, ready to get started here. So, good afternoon. For the record, I'm Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. I'm going to first confirm that we have the following members present. Members, when I call your names, could you please respond in the affirmative? Val Oliver.
Here.
Thank you, Val. Diane Coombs.
Here.
Thank you, Diane. Carrie Thornwell.
Here.
Great. And Stephen Welch.
Here.
Okay, great. I think that's it for now. And for the record, Ray Pohl and staff when I
Abby's
call.
here as well, Mr. Chair.
Who?
Abby, sorry.
Oh, Abby and Abby Camp. Abby, you're here, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And so now we're going to staff, when I call your names, could you please confirm for the record? Holly Backus.
Present.
Thank you. Kadeem McCarthy.
Present.
Very good. All right, folks, thanks. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order dated March 12, 2020. That order, posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we are being broadcast via YouTube on our very own town's YouTube channel. With no member of the public having to ask to speak at this time, this particular meeting will not feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during this meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on our town's website. During the meeting, I will introduce agenda topics and speakers. So everyone, please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called, and please direct all comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and to make the taking of minutes easier. Finally, all votes taken at today's meeting will be done via roll call. Now, the first thing we usually do is have a vote to approve the agenda. Now, I just got an email from Linda Williams saying that she is holding all of the 61 fairgrounds applications that are under old business. And for those of you looking at the agenda, those would be items 4 through 10 under old business are being held until Tuesday. Okay, so that's kind of good news for all the other people. So that would be the amended agenda to basically strike items 4 through 10 on this agenda. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so then could I have a motion to approve today's modified agenda?
So moved.
So moved.
I think Val beat you to it, Diane, but on that, Diane Coombs.
Aye.
Thank you. Abby Camp.
Aye.
We're gonna have to do the alternation again because we have 2 associates. So Carrie Thornwell.
Aye.
Thank you. And I'm in favor of that. Oh, Val, sorry, forgot you on your motion.
Aye.
Yep, and I'm in favor. So that motion carries. We have 1 consent item at 10 Starbuck. No, let's see, this can be Stephen. All right. So can I have a motion on that?
So moved.
Thank you. So on Stephen's motion to approve the 1 consent item on that motion, Val,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. So that motion carries. Now we're moving along to old business. First item I am not on, and Diane will be chairing. It is 28 Dukes Road. Before I sign off, can we make sure that, do we have somebody here to represent that at this time?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm not on this either, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so Diane, you have a 4-person board, yourself, Abby, Stephen,
Right.
Carrie, okay?
And Carrie.
Thanks, I'm muting
Yep,
out
I
now.
got that. Okay. Who's representing this?
Gary King from Waterscapes.
And I'm here
Hi,
for
Gary.
I'm here for the neighbor
Okay.
at 26.
Okay, so we'll start with Waterscapes.
Okay, so at the last meeting, the board decided that you wanted to have this go to motion to view. So I'm assuming that you did a view from the roads, which this pool would not be visible. I then added a complete plant buffer along the side of the property to block the pool. I also did an illustration showing the property next door, which I think is owned by Chuck Lenhart. And Waterscapes has done numerous projects with Chuck Lenhart. We know Chuck very well. I put on the GIS plan the footage to the pool to his houses, and and the footage to the pool with the big wall, just to show the distances. So this pool is just a very simple pool. It's not elevated out of grade. The homeowner wants the pool on the side. There is also an issue, if you see on the plan, of where the water, cable, and electric go. So she doesn't want to have to change that. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. What is the size of the pool?
15 by 30.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So Linda, did you want to say something?
Yeah, Chuck Lenhart does not own the property next door, first off.
Okay.
They are the ones next door that are being basically attacked by the 14-foot wall of the pool that you guys have looked at that comes off of Upper Vestal. And so they have a pool that's up there that's already overhanging their property. They have expressed, Hollis has expressed a desire to have this pool not be on top of them also, right behind the 2 houses that they live in, one of which they live in. We're doing something with the other one now, and have that pool move to the other side of the lot. And I had thought that the last time the board saw this, that they were sort of leaning in that direction, because there've been some comments by you guys that their property was already surrounded by a pool on top of them and another pool with that tall wall. And the land is already, all the water is already streaming into their property. And then they're going to be surrounded on 3 sides by a pool 5 feet away from their houses. They asked to have this pool move to the other side of the lot, and they can always just rearrange the driveway. So that's what we're asking for now, is to have it move to the other side of the lot. So it's not 3 pools on top of their little cottage that their mother left them.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask Waterscape something? On your application, you have the water and cable and electric going catty corner across the lot. Are those all buried, or is anything in the air?
No, they're all buried.
Okay,
Madam
Okay.
Chairman, can you ask the
So-
applicant where the pool equipment is going? It looks like it's going right behind the bedroom.
The pool equipment would be located outside of the 10-foot setback. It really can be moved, further away from the property. It could be moved down by the end of the pool. So that's not an issue. We're not, the equipment can be moved.
Madam Chairman, I don't see it on the plan. Unless it's that box.
I
which
don't
is right
either.
behind it, and it's supposed to be shown on the plan. And I assume they have a automatic pool cover, which wouldn't require a fence.
Correct.
But I don't know where the pool equipment is. I
I
thought it
don't
was
know
in that
what that-
box.
So the pool equipment
What
is
is
not
that
shown on
box with four?
the pool equipment is
Okay.
not shown on this plan right now.
Supposed to be.
Okay. It can be located next to the house if the pool equipment is an issue for the neighbor with the noise. We can move it down towards the end of the pool, away from the other property.
Towards the north.
But the homeowner here would like the pool on this side of the property. The pool, again, because, I mean, it's not their issue that another pool was approved by the HDC. And now they should suffer because another pool is in the position where it is.
It's called friendly neighbors.
Right.
Property.
The, so are we ready to proceed with the commission? I will start with Abby.
I would like to see, a locust plan that has Vestal and Dukes because, and could you also point out again when that comes up where the retaining wall is? Is there another locust map?
Abby, I can pull one up for you. Just give me one moment, okay?
Okay, thanks. I just have to, orient myself.
How's that?
Oh, that is great. Okay, so, okay, Duke's Road is there, and then could somebody point out that, is that just to the left there, 30, is that the retaining wall site?
Yes, I'll tell you, the 81 and 83 is where this is the GIS map you're looking at. Unfortunately, it's 2014. If you went to the Google Maps or even the 2019, as opposed to this, you would see where the pools are. 81 and 83 is where the wall is. The one you see right behind them, you can see the pool now. That one has been there for a while, and that also built a retaining wall, so everything's coming down on top of their property. And the ones to the left of that one off of Vestal are the ones where the offending walls are.
Wait,
And
wait,
they're the ones right in the middle.
that's what I can't figure out. Is it in relationship to what we're talking about here? Where is that retaining wall?
Look at 556, 253, and 254 up here off of Vestal. Now keep going to the left. Those two lots are where the retaining wall is. And the retaining wall, see the two little cottages there? The retaining wall is that whole strip right above where you got the cursor, right there. That whole thing is that 14-foot wall. Just up here, right on top of them.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And then that,
This
and
pool
then
is on the other side.
the tree, okay, so it's, it is adjacent to the, but well, there's one property.
Madam Chair, point of order.
Yes,
We're discussing matters, well, I'm sensitive to these matters
Right.
that aren't relevant. We recently had a decision reversed on appeal because we're discussing things that aren't part of our purview. There are relevant considerations that would dictate moving this to the other side. I think we should focus on those, and I would ask that we move that discussion along.
I'm sorry, Stephen, all I'm trying to do is orient myself. I'm not.
Yeah, Abby, I get it, but we've had discussion for 5 minutes about retaining walls, so I don't mean to be
not even-
adversarial, but we just had an appeal on another project that we were throwing out because of discussion that wasn't relevant to our purview.
Why don't you go first?
No, it's not about going first. I'm just trying to keep us focused.
Well, then, if you're so focused, go ahead and
it's
talk about it.
Yeah,
question
sure.
of,
Fine, I'll go. Thank you, Madam Chair.
tell me,
The idea
no,
of this
Stephen,
pool being at the front of the
Stephen, I'm
property.
talking. Excuse me, I am trying to talk. I don't believe that the location of retaining walls is not in our purview, since it has distinct consideration to where this pool, which is what we're trying to figure out, goes. I think that to do your job properly and completely is to not go blindside and say, well, just put it anywhere, but to see what surrounds it, because that is what we need to do, is get the best location. Now, you may
Madam Chair.
continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I disagree with you, and I think you're wrong. I think the discussion of a retaining wall on another property other than for the location of this to orient ourselves is irrelevant, should not be discussed, and is grounds for appeal. Number one. Number two, I
Okay.
think that the
That's-
idea is that
No.
this pool can be located on the other side of the property. We typically do not approve pools in a front yard, number one. We would, however, approve and have approved pools in a front yard where there is an intervening structure, which in this instance would be the garage structure. So if this were located towards the other side and behind that structure somehow, that could be approvable. Thank you. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Abby,
No, I'll wait. I want to hear what Carrie has to say because this is her neighborhood and she can guide us better than me trying to struggle like where this thing is. And that's all I was trying to do. I'm not trying to bring up another, just trying to orient
no,
myself.
I know that. I know that. Carrie, what would you care to say?
Well, I said it last week. I just think it's really unfortunate that with such a large site, that this has to be jammed up right against a neighbor who has been inundated. And if that's not our purview, so be it. But I don't know what to say. I just think it's the wrong location. These people want a pool, but they don't want to have, they don't want to take responsibility of, anything surrounding them and any people surrounding them, any other buildings surrounding them. I totally agree with Steve. It could easily go behind that little building that's there and not be visible from anywhere. Get the pool equipment, get everything away from areas that are already densely pooled and pool equipmented out. So that's
Thank you. Because that is part of the mission for the HDC is to keep the area in keeping with the other parts that are in that area. That is stated as a federal part of our mission.
Thank you.
Abby, do you want to say something or do you want me to say something now?
Go ahead. I have a very small thing to say.
Okay, I am just going to say that I think the pool should be moved to the other side. It is in the front. It is not got anything that's blocking off the view. And the garage is over on the other side. And it needs to be put to the right in front of where those cars are and the driveway ending closer to the house. So what would you like to say?
Did you mean by what do I have to say? Abby?
Yeah, you're next.
All right.
Abby is next.
I agree with what's been said, and it looks like the driveway could be flip-flopped and the driveway could come around to the other side. So I think it's possible to do that. So thank you.
All righty. So what do we want to do?
Can I make
Do
a
we want
comment
to-
on these things?
We did make a comment. You can have just a minute to have a comment. Yes.
Okay, so the homeowner was trying to control costs on this project and put the pool in a place not to interfere with the neighbors, but to have it in the simplest place. The pool is not visible from the road at all, from any road. And to be honest, I don't think she's going to be able to afford to rip up the driveway, move the pool over there, redo the driveway and have a pool. And I don't think it's fair just because someone else has a pool and HDC approved it, that this person should suffer when this pool is not visible. And I know for a fact that we, Waterscapes, have had pools approved with pools in front yards much, much closer to the road than this.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to speak.
Are you making a motion or?
No, I'd like to
contention
speak
of
on the application.
this? Okay,
I'm
I'd
not
like to
aware, having looked in the Google Maps, of any pools in a front yard in that area. I do know that at least any application I've ever voted on, anything in the front, we tried to, as I said, have an intervening structure as a matter of policy between the pool and the front yard. My decision is not in any way, shape, or form flavored by whether someone has a pool generally in the proximity of this pool. It is the broader principles. And I think that that's a valid reason. With respect to cost, I understand the applicant may have a concern, but if you look at the locus, you're basically looking at excavating an area, clearing and excavating an area. And in this instance, the driveway is already flat and level. So if we're on that side of the property, in that regard, you're ahead of the game, and putting the driveway on the other, diverting some of that driveway to the other side, that's an area that's going to have to be graded and changed in any event. Of course, we don't consider, it's just not part of our mission to be considering a direct cost. So while I'm sensitive to that, I think that there are mitigating factors. Thank you, Madam Chair.
thank you. So, what do we want to do with this? We need to make some sort of motion, either to hold for revisions, deny, or approve.
I'd make a
think-
motion to hold for revisions.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me, go through. Abby,
Aye.
on Steve.
Aye.
Okay, Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So this is being held. The motion is 4+, and it is being held for revisions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Next up, we have 111 Surfside Road. Matt McEachern, Emeritus. The board on this, myself, Diane, Johnny's not here, so we have Val, Kerry, and we have an alternate in the form of Stephen Welch. So Matt, are you on board?
I am, Mr. Chair.
All right, hit it.
Okay, thank you. So this is for the guest house. It's shown on the site plan towards the bottom of the page there. The previous iteration, we had an eave facing forward with a shed dormer. The feedback that we received was that the gable forward would probably be more appropriate. And so that is what was done. It's a simple structure. The overall ridge height is 25 feet. And hopefully it addresses whatever concerns there were. There weren't a ton, but anyway, so those are the changes, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The reason that the top, somebody's on a YouTube feed, I think, so you need to mute or turn off your YouTube feed. So you bubbled the roof in each one of the 4 elevations simply because you shifted the gable orientation, right?
Correct. We rotated it.
Right. Okay. I think we can turn it right over to the board now. Does anybody want to opine on this one? Oh, good. Nice perspectives. Anyone?
I think it's good. I'll go.
Okay. Thanks, Diane.
I think it's appropriate having turned and having the gable forward. I think it fits in much better and makes a softer appearance there. So I would approve it
Okay.
myself.
All right. Thank you, Diane. Val? Val?
I actually think it's too big. There's a lot on this site. There's a garage apartment that is already maybe not even that height, and this is a second dwelling, so it really should be a little bit less tall.
Mr. Chair, could I just make a quick comment. Val, it's just storage space above the garage. And if you wanted us to lower the height of the structure, we could certainly do that.
Well, the garage not being this application, being a different one.
It's a different application, correct? But I just wanted to point out that there's no living space above the garage. So it's not a garage apartment.
I guess,
But I was saying that if you wanted to, we could lower the ridge height of this structure if the board or
Oh.
Val felt necessary. We could probably take at least like 6 to 9 inches out of it.
okay,
Yeah.
Matt, I want to make sure I understand. So you're not suggesting dropping ridge height out of the garage that I believe was already approved. You're suggesting dropping head height out of this structure that we're reviewing right now.
Correct.
Okay. And your number was 6 to 9 inches?
Correct.
Okay. So Val, do you want to respond to that or?
No, because I don't think it's enough. And I know we're not sticking to the 22 feet, but it's just a lot of structure on the site, and that's just me. So,
Okay. All right. So height remains an issue for you. Okay. Thank you. Carrie.
I liked it before and I like it now. I hope that the whole lot's not going to be cleared of all brush and vegetation, because that area's got a lot of different vegetation, and the separation of these buildings maybe it could feel less of what Val is concerned about if some of that vegetation stays or is put back.
Okay. Matt, do you want to respond to that?
Sure. We don't actually have a landscape plan at the moment, but to what extent, obviously we have to clear for the buildings, but the building footprint itself, I believe, is 480 square feet. So it's actually not an enormous building, but at some point, I'm hoping that we do have a landscape plan and we can discuss plantings, et cetera.
Okay. Very good.
I think it would help.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Carrie. Stephen.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I agree. Can we actually go up to the cover sheet top? Yeah. So in the upper right corner, Matt, what's kind of striking me when it comes to the height is if I were looking at this building individually, through you, of course, Mr. Chair, is that it's appropriate. However, it is a little tallish when you look at the proportions relative to what else is going on the site. So I think 9 inches at a minimum. I'd prefer to see a foot come out. It looks like that. Maybe I haven't read this completely, but it looks like you've got some room to take out of both your first and second floor. So I would say a minimum of 9 inches and no changes to the roof pitches. And if you could do a foot, I think it's going to do justice to the rest of the other structures. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. What do you think about a foot there, Matt?
I could probably make that work, Mr. Chair.
Well, if you're pretty confident that you can make it work, I think we could probably move to do something through staff.
Okay.
Does somebody want to make that motion?
Good.
So moved.
Okay.
Make a motion.
So Stephen beat you to it. I'm sorry. But so the motion is to approve this with the stipulation that Matt remove 1 foot in the height of the building somewhere or another out of his design. That's Stephen's motion. On the motion, Diane?
Aye.
Thank you. Val?
no,
Okay. Carrie?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
All right, and I'm in favor. So that motion carries 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Thank you,
Thank you.
Matthew. Okay, next up is 6 Baltimore Road. Board on this one, myself, Diane, Abby, Stephen, Carrie. Okay?
Mr. Chair, excuse me. I have to take a break. I have the call I have to take, so I'm going to step out on this one, but you still have a 4-person board, I believe.
4. Yeah,
Is that okay with the applicant?
well, that's a good.
Paul, are you here? He was, I think.
He was?
I thought I saw his name.
Huh.
I do see his name, Val, but haven't been able to get him.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so Paul,
Yes.
Stephen needs to step out. He was your fifth member. Are you okay proceeding with four people?
You know, I was hoping he would be on it, you know, just seeing how he was with it from the beginning.
Right.
And so is it possible for him? I mean, he needs to take a break, so we should let him go do that.
Well, here, let
Come
me
back
just
to me in a
point
little
out
bit.
something here, hold on one second, because I
I'm
think,
here from Nantucket Advisory, Mr. Chairman.
wait, hang on. We haven't started into this yet.
I know, I just wanted to let you know.
Stephen Welch.
He's already gone.
Oh, God. Okay, so I don't know how long Stephen is gone for. So
Why don't we
can
hold it?
What?
Why don't we hold it till Steve comes back?
Well, that's what I'm going to suggest. Now, Paul, just so you know, if he doesn't come back in an hour, this meeting will adjourn, which will mean you'll have to be held over until Tuesday.
Understood. That's fine. I'm good
All
with
right.
that.
Okay. So, but if he does come back, I will make sure that we get back to your application. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All
Appreciate
right. Very
that.
good. So we're just going to pass over that one for the time being. Now, given that and Linda, you heard all that. So Nantucket Advisor will have their chance to speak on the application then.
Yep, I'm here.
And Linda, you've withdrawn, thankfully, all of your applications until Tuesday. So that's all taken care of.
Yep.
That brings us down to item number 11 under old business, which is 7 North Gully, which is my office's application. So I obviously need to recuse. So Diane, if you could take over, and hopefully Lisa is on the line. I don't know if she is, but I'm going to mute.
Lisa?
Yep, I'm here.
Lisa?
Yep.
Okay, good out. So tell us.
Well, this was
What's
for
got
a
going?
relocation of a demolition or move of a shed in Sconset. And we've since gone to the Historic Structures Advisory Board. It turns out that this shed is actually old and had moved down from I think Broadway, or a street up on the bluff, and became sort of this makeshift office space for Wade Green. So in any case, my client was hoping to demolish or relocate it, and I believe the Sconset Advisory Board comments were to only allow it to be relocated in Sconset, move to Sconset. Obviously, we'd like it to be offered to more people, but I think they want it to remain in Sconset.
Okay, thank you. That's good
Madam
to hear.
Chair,
Yes.
just
Yes, Holly.
on that a little bit, and thank you, Lisa, for that. Yes, Lisa is absolutely correct. Wisconsin Advisory took a look at this again on the 15th of March, and they would like to see this to stay within Sconset if it has to be moved, but do not be demolished. This is a historic structure. It was originally on 11 Front Street, built circa 1881, was a part of the Mizentop Boathouse is what it was referred to as. So it has that Front Street part of Sconset history, and would like to keep it in Sconset. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's begin with the Abby.
Gosh, yes, thank you. I would like to see this. Is there any way we could keep this on the site and do something next to it? Is there
They don't have any plans to put a house here or anything at this point. They're just really trying to clean the site up.
Oh, well,
And they don't want it, they were hoping not to have to invest money into a structure, you know, it'll take a lot of money to refurbish this structure because it's in pretty rough shape. So they were hoping not to to clean the site up accordingly and not have it have a building on it.
Yeah. I just feel as simple as it is, it's so, maybe it's moved down the hill to Codfish Park, but I think it's,
Well, that's where it is. It is in Codfish Park.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm in favor of a demo, and I don't want to put pressure on you to find a spot for it. I mean, that's a lot to ask of you. So I guess I would not be in favor of this application. I'm sorry to say, Lisa.
Okay, that's okay.
Thank you. Oliver, Val,
I mean, if that's deemed that significant, it would be nice to see it repurposed somehow, whether here or somewhere else. Maybe it could be a shed
Well, that's all it is. There's no plumbing or anything in
or a
it.
pool house.
Or a shade structure at the children's playground where they need shade. The perfect
Well,
shade. Do you think that they might want to take that I mean, it's in Codfish Park. I know, and they need a shade structure, and here it is in living color. Yeah, well, that would be great if you know anybody who we should contact. Advisory is interested in keeping it ensconced. That would be a good solution. It's the land bank property.
Yeah, I think it's the land bank. Yes, that would be a win-win. Talk to Eric Savet.
okay.
Is that
Stephen,
the
did you want to say something?
Is that the playground that Julie Jordan did?
Yes,
I'll ask her who to contact.
yeah. That would be great because it needs, actually the playground needs a little more sort of history like this on it to keep it away from that Walt Disney look. So,
Well, I think the land bank would be thrilled to know that we'd be willing to approve something.
yeah.
Everything's been not
Okay,
approved.
I see
Stephen,
it.
have you got something you'd like to say? Stephen?
It was out, remember?
So I'd
Oh,
like
he's
to make
out.
a
All right.
motion
And
to
I would
have
say,
Lisa
I would
look-
like to, I say, yoo-hoo. I was just trying to say something about this, is that this belonged to Wade Green for as long as I've been here, which is 50 years. And he did move it down, but he did use it as an office. And he moved it down there because it was off the bus, and the land that he put it on was stable. Where further down, it was not so stable. They lost the house down there. So I think I would like to have a motion. And I think your suggestion of trying it in the park is a very good one. So could I get a motion for such?
Well, could I request that it, I don't want that it goes to the park to be part of the motion, because I can't guarantee that they're going to take it. We'll certainly
no.
open it up.
We're going to.
Okay, I'm just being clear about that.
If we want to make a motion to deny
Hold for
the.
more information.
Oh, wouldn't you do a move off?
No, because we, like you said, we don't know what its destiny is.
Or move off to Sconset, similar to what Historic Structures Advisory Board said? Because what if somebody else in Sconset wants to take it? Right. That makes sense. We can't determine that it's going to the land bank property, so at least giving it the opportunity to move off but not be demoed.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not a
why Val said hold for more information, and we could do some research about that before we make a.
I just would rather get it off the docket. I mean, if it's okay to move it someplace else, as long as it keeps it ensconced, I'd just rather get it off your list. And then whoever wants to take it has to come to you to get it moved to their property, ensconce it. Whether it's land bank or, Joe Smith.
So we could do a motion for a move off and further information, which should cover both of our main questions. Is you get the move off and more information, which means maybe it won't be moved off, or maybe we don't want to move it off at this time because they want to clear the land. I think we have to look at it from all their things. I think it's been there for a long time. Maybe they could
Yeah, I think it got
kill a
moved
tree
down there.
without getting into it.
It got moved down there, I think sometime in the 80s. Right? And there was an
Yeah.
article.
So
Um,
I would make a
what's
motion
the
to,
best way to do it? Yeah, you get a motion to what?
move off
Val?
as long as it stays in Sconset.
Okay, that's covering, that's good. So Abby, on Val's
I'm a
motion,
no, I'm a no, sorry.
okay, Carrie,
I'm an I.
okay, and I am an I, and Val
I,
is an I, so that is 3, 2, 1 for moving as long as it stays in Sconset.
Okay.
And we
yeah,
have asked
and I'll
for
start with the land bank. I think
further in,
good suggestion. Thank you for that.
okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you very
So
much.
the next one is it 22 Clifton Street?
yeah.
Yes. Hey, so Diane,
Yes,
just FYI, so yes, 22 Clifton is next. You're chairing that and you're chairing like the next 5. And I'm going to be on board in case Stephen happens to come back, and I'm going to text him to see how long he's going to be, just in case we need to go back to 6 Baltimore Road. Okay?
I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Oh, okay. So maybe we should get that out of the
some
way.
of these, Ray, some
Yes.
of these are pretty short. The, what, 20 Canterbury is me. She's there, then what is it? The 12 Canterbury is for a shed is me,
Well,
Val,
that's
Abby, and that's it.
well, okay. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But what I'd like to do, because we told Paul that we would return back to his application if Stephen arrived, which he has. So I would like to take a moment and
Okay.
go back now to item number 3, 6 Baltimore Road. And again, the board is myself, you, Diane, Abby Camp, Stephen Welch, and Carrie Thornwell, all of whom are now present. And so, Paul,
Is he still here?
I hope so. If not, we're.
There I am. I am.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, all
Sorry
right.
about
Okay, and, all right, so you have Stephen back, so. and
Sorry,
we have
guys.
We have your application up in front of us. Okay.
All right,
so
and I'm
we can-
back.
we can begin. Thank you.
Do I get to go first?
Well, yeah, if you're representing it, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a grouping of pictures that that we looked at the MAB meeting. Right. Thank you. So just before we start, the photos are to illustrate window styles, but this first page I think is important to see the evolution of where we went from the original design to where we are now. Just to refresh your memory.
Mhm.
And then these are buildings in the general area that have windows that are 2/2, which was of some concern initially with MAB. Some felt yes, some were okay with them, but I just thought it was important to see them before you launch into the application.
Okay.
So once you've scrolled through these, then we can go to our presentation.
When did you want MAB to go, Mr. Chairman? When did you want Nantucket Advisory?
Okay, the normal sequence is the applicant presents, and then I give you a chance to speak.
Cool.
Okay, so.
Okay. So we spent about an hour with these guys the other day. I don't have the minutes to exactly tell you what was said, but from my memory and my notes, we have been between the Nantucket Advisory and HDC 6 times, and each time we've tried to respond to the concerns, and we actually think through that process, the building has gotten better. So at the last HDC meeting, which was February 16th, there were concerns, but they were generally window and door related and deck related. So we have responded to those concerns, as well as the MAB concerns that they had about fenestration and French door panes and things like that. This first page was a request of Stephen to show the outline of the existing building with the proposed building behind it, so you could get a relationship of what's there to what is being proposed. Yeah. So as I said, there were concerns basically with some detail things we thought, dormers coming in 3 feet from the edge. On the north side, the right-hand mass was a little off kilter, almost like a minimal salt box, and now it's more symmetrical. The porch has come across the entire front. There was a request to put some windows next to the front door, which we did. Can you scroll up? That's the north. The east was a concern about the deck there being 8 feet from the edge of the building, which it now is on top of the roof structure there. We changed the pane configuration in the doors to correspond better to the windows. So now there's 6 light instead of 4. The rear concerns were some fenestration issues, which we've changed the door configuration to, again, 6. As you see now, the mass on the left is now symmetrical as it was on the front. We took the skylight out of the dormer, put a little window in instead in that right-hand mass, and cut the deck back all the way around. And in the section between the main body and the left-hand side remains just a small 3-foot walkway, which we're shingling the wall so it blends in with the roof plane. So it looks separated like the other side. And on this side, the roof couched around the corner deck there. And at the MAB meeting, there was some discussion, quite a bit of discussion about underneath the stair here. You see what's being presented is actually like a shingled wall all the way across under that stair, which is open from the rear. So you can just walk down the stairway to the cellar. They wanted us to remove that wall and just make it like a half shingled wall so that there's some open space there as opposed to just a complete shingled wall. So we haven't done that yet because we're here now getting your comments. And overall, I think we're there. At the end of the meeting, came around to some concern about the overall length, which hasn't been mentioned in several meetings. And the focus was on detail things. So we didn't really know how to address that, because now we've come so far to this point. To go back and start over seems a little difficult at this time, but I'm sure Linda will fill you in.
Okay. Thanks, Val. Linda?
Okay, it'd be easier if we had gone first, but
No, Linda,
Yeah.
that's never, ever the way it works.
no, we always read the medic advisory comments when we were live in human form, because it was
Okay.
always a sheet that you pulled out, like SAB and HSAB. But be that as it may, Val was pretty much gave you what we did. All along, some of the members had problems with the length, which they've reduced, and with the general overall massing. But at this last meeting, nobody really had, except for fixing that walk down,
Okay.
nobody really had a lot of problems with the details, because they have met a lot of what the concerns were. They
Okay.
moved the stairs sort of cut in that edge of the deck on the south side, so it's not all the way across.
All
And
right.
they put a little roof there. But I have to state that at least 3 of the members were concerned about 71 feet. And just, it's down, I got to give them props, because it is at 25 feet, and the zoning requires you to be no higher than 25 feet, which in general makes you squish the roof down and blow it out the sides if you want a certain program. So it is only 25 feet. There are a lot of structures out there that are over 25 feet, but they were just concerned about just the overall length, I think, versus height, but not the details. I think everybody was in agreement on the details, but 3 of the members felt very strongly about just the sheer size of it, as opposed to taking some feet out of each end and dropping it below 70 feet. So that was the consensus when we left.
Okay. Very good.
Can I ask, Mr. Chairman, through you, what is the trim color on this?
Natural to weather.
Yeah, I think that's going to help as well.
Agree. Okay. Thank you, Linda.
Do I get to rebut or wait?
You don't have much to rebut there. I mean, are you hoping to rebut the length thing?
Yeah, I do
Val,
have.
Val, so I hear you, but let's.
It's okay.
Val, you're screen sharing right now, right?
No.
Oh, somebody was pointing out that a lot of the neighbors are at 70 feet or more. I mean, that's fairly obvious. So we'll see to what degree that length is a concern. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, let me add one reason why they were concerned about the length.
Yeah.
Is because it's on a corner lot and it's on Nantucket Road, not interior, down Starbuck, down Columbus, down Long Pond. It's on that corner, so it's on the Nantucket corner where it intersects with that side road. That's why the issue was. Nobody argued with Val that there weren't other structures out there that had been blown up pretty high before the 25-foot limitation came in a couple of years ago.
Stop there.
Okay. All right. So I would like to turn this over to the board. Who would care to begin on this application?
I'll go.
All right. Thanks.
The long length is not along Nantucket Road, it's along Baltimore, right? You have to be on
That's
Baltimore.
for you, Val.
Go down to scroll
Site
down.
plan.
No, up to the site plan. Up.
That is correct.
There you go.
Oh, so it's sort of catty, whatever, at an angle. I think all the subtle changes that you made more of a difference than the subtlety of them as a whole. I'm not sure. The rear still seems like there's a lot going on and a lot of fenestration, but I feel like that one is not the most visible. And the planting on your site plan doesn't show a lot of planting. It shows a lot of lawn, but I think, again, I think the existing shrubbery there will mask a lot of the first floor plan. And I think all the changes you made a huge difference, especially from the first rendition. The length isn't quite as bad. The stair wall, that wall underneath the stair doesn't bother me at all. I don't think anyone's gonna see it or notice it. And I wouldn't say it has to change.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. Thanks, Carrie. Who's next? Stephen, how about you?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, difficulty unmuting there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I just have a question, looking at the elevation that's in front of us, the proposed front elevation, the upper, through you, Mr. Chair. Actually, is there a better, on my screen, it's a little more visible. How about the next one down? Next sheet, yeah. So, through you, Mr. Chair, Val, on the right-hand side on the second floor, I note that that connector is to the right secondary mass. In the roof plan, it looks like it dies into, it's beyond the dormer portion. There's a right dormer as you're looking at the drawing and a left dormer.
Mhm.
In the drawing, it appears that there's a hip, a valley where the connector piece going left to right connects to the gable that faces with the two windows in it. So I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if that could drop down maybe a 1 or a 2 from a 9 to an 8 or a 7 internally. If that's cathedral volume, it can be absorbed, but it would create a more of a sense of a transition. And if so, I think that might help alleviate this concern about length in a way. But I do appreciate that changes that have been made. I think if we go back to the original proposal versus this, it's dramatically more Nantucket. And I appreciate that being accomplished both from you and the applicant. So, but I would ask that you consider dropping that pitch. I think if you lower that, it will present differently.
Do you know what he means?
Yeah, and I'm gonna let Paul answer that.
So it's the, particularly it's the one on the right-hand side you're referencing, Steve?
Correct.
Yeah, just that connector ridge could be lowered if the pitch were lowered without really, I believe, without looking at the roof plan, without affecting the program. But I don't have a floor plan to reference. And I don't want to design at the table, but I'm trying to address the concern of length.
Okay, we could look at that. That would, I can't answer it just off the cuff, but we could.
Let me tell you, if you can reduce the roof pitch, what it would do is it would serve to not have the two ridges align, which I think is what Stephen's comment is, and you'd never perceive the pitch of that roof. Okay, thanks, Stephen. Let's see, Abby.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty with this one, and I
Got some
think.
cat food.
Excuse
Keep
me?
going, Abby.
What are you doing?
Hey, Dean, please mute.
Could we go?
Go ahead, Abby.
Okay, could we just go to the site plan where it shows the proximity to the other side of Nantucket Road? So I can see how close it is to the historic part of Nantucket, which,
Do you want
Maybe
the
the
locus?
locus.
yes, please. Okay,
Ah, all right.
Keep going.
Well, oh, that's not it anyway.
oh,
All right.
okay, can you zoom? Yeah, I just want to see it in relationship to Old Nantucket.
The
I'm
Kadeem,
gonna zoom out further.
the
Yeah,
end,
good. Just
at the end of the drawing is
stop.
the neighborhood.
Thank you. Okay, so my concern is that my feeling is that it's too large for this area. Adding that right-hand side, I think, is what put it over the top for me. And I think the decking is excessive. And I really don't want to see that staircase going up to the second floor. If you could address that.
Anything else,
Yeah.
Abby?
What?
Anything else?
No, I just
Okay.
think in general, it's just making, I think the square footage of the old house was much more appropriate for that area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Diane?
I am sort of with Abby. I think it's big. If you could just explain to me, I'm sorry to be so feeble-minded, what the roof is on that, up on the second floor that has the staircase coming down. How does that work? I don't understand.
That's simply, it's a staircase to get
You
up.
would find,
that-
yeah, why have you got to, where is that staircase?
Why don't we look at the floor plan?
That's
Second floor
on the
plan.
Okay,
west elevation. So it's shielded by 3 enormous cherry trees that are really beautiful,
no, wasn't that, I just don't understand it. I
Hey,
want to
Diane?
know what it would look like.
So
Yes.
Diane, what that staircase is doing is it's allowing you, or allowing one, to get from the second floor deck down to grade by going outside as opposed to through the house. That's what that's doing.
Okay, that's all.
All
I
right.
just didn't understand it well. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, continue.
No, I was just going to say that I would be happier with some reduction on the length of the building. To me, and it's probably old because I haven't been out there for quite some time, is that Baltimore is not a highly developed street. But many sides, that side, the south elevation, the ocean side, seems to be having a lot of fenestration on it. All those sliding doors, perhaps they could be reduced. You got them in every section of that elevation, and I would like to see probably the east part of that elevation reduced somewhat. It's a long, to me, it's just a long building for Baltimore. And there are a lot of windows, 3, 5, 8, 10, 14, 16, 17 windows, 17 sliding doors, not windows, 17 sliding doors. And it just seemed like a lot to me. I'd like to see it reduced. That's all.
Okay. Thank you,
I
Diane.
would just have everybody, if they need to, review the packets that get sent to them ahead of time. And like, this is an example of buildings in the area, just so you can see the context.
You want to hear my comments?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate the changes. That's it. And I do believe, like, there are a lot of fairly large houses there. I'm very familiar with the whole Starbuck area, which, is not really part of old Nantucket. It's across the street. And there's certainly precedent for houses that are this long and longer, this tall and taller. So I'm okay with this. So can we have a motion of some kind to move it along? I know that there's very different opinions about what needs to be done to this house, if anything, to get it approvable.
Can I make a comment?
I didn't.
You may. Go ahead, Val.
I would just also say, please review the minutes from all the meetings, because
Yeah.
this massing thing
Right.
is,
Understood. Yep.
and the windows and doors and all that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thanks, Val. But so is somebody willing to make some kind of a motion so we can get something on the table?
Well, I will make a
Okay.
motion. What's the best things to put up is to approve as submitted. I guess would start right there.
Well, if you want to satisfy Stephen, you could go with Stephen's suggestion to drop the roof pitch on that little hyphen piece that connects those two masses, and then we could get the overall massing down. I think that's a pretty harmless thing to do. I know that it would
Okay.
work.
All
So,
right.
Kadeem, are you doing the screen?
I am indeed.
Could
Where would you
you,
like me?
could you go to the front elevation again, just so we can reference where this is if Diane wants to make a motion? Ah, there we are. Okay, so Diane, the piece that we're talking about is
Yeah,
on
it's
the
right
north,
there. I know.
north elevation between the main mass and the mass to the right, that roof.
Right. So we want to drop the eave down so it does not hit perpendicularly to the dormer, right?
Well, I think he wanted to drop the ridge down on the
Yeah.
connector
Okay,
piece.
drop the bridge,
Yeah,
drop the bridge down on the connector piece. Right.
Or even if
Okay.
you want to soften the sketch, we can do
So
that.
we
that
should
is-
put it in for light revisions. Wouldn't that be a better motion?
You're the one making the motion, so you tell me what it is and I will get a vote on
All
it.
right, we put it in as for light revision.
Okay.
Like-
So Diane has made a motion for minor revisions on this project. On that motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen.
I'm a no.
Oh, okay. Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'll be in favor of that motion too. Stephen, you were basically ready to approve the first motion, I would think.
Yeah, I just think it could be done through staff. We're basically asking them to lower a ridge and perhaps an eave, and it's pretty
Yeah.
clear what it is.
No,
But I
I-
understand. It was a protest vote.
I just, I just want to make sure that you weren't looking for more. Okay, so motion for very minor revisions carries, because I voted in favor, so that was carried 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay, thank you, Val.
Mr. Chairman, it doesn't have to come back to Mattocket for that.
Oh, good to know. Okay, so Kadeem, just make a note of that. All right, please?
Got
So
it.
It does not need to see it again. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so now we're back down to item 12, which I am not on. It is 5 after 2. I would like to break at 2:30. Now, so Diane, you were concerned about the boards on some of these, but your first one is okay at 22 Clifton because you have yourself,
Yeah.
Abby, Val, Stephen, and you can pull in Carrie, who I'm sure would be willing to sit. And then you still have a 5-person board on that. And then the next one at 6 Lily, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that too. So you can at least get 2 of these out of the way. So why don't you give it a try? I'm going to mute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try to do the 22 Clifton with Bentley and Churchill.
Yes. Okay, hi, I'm
Is
Elizabeth.
that you, Elizabeth? Are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, great.
10. So,
I just responded to your comments, which was to separate some of the ganged windows, and also I looked at the west elevation, and I reduced that triple to a double there, and that reflects the double on the other side of the library. So small changes to this. I just thought that this would address your concerns.
Madam Chair,
do we have the original? Yes,
Sconset Advisory
Yes,
had
Ollie.
no Sconset
there
Advisory
it
had no concerns on these plans, the revisions.
thank you. Thank you. Good to know. Thank you. So, okay, Elizabeth, that's all you want to say. I'll go to my commissioners now. And we'll start with Stephen.
Thanks, Madam Chair. My only concern, and previously so, is the white trim color. I don't know so much that it would be appropriate for this design in that location.
That's already been, excuse me, that's already been changed.
To what?
Okay, the application indicates white, so that's why I mention it.
It's all been changed to gray, and that should have been noted there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Super, thank you. Val,
I'm good with it. I was good with it before.
okay. Carrie,
I agree. I think it's a great little house or big house.
okay.
Great little big house.
And Abby,
I'm fine with it.
thank you. And I am fine with it also. Can we get a motion?
Motion to approve with gray trim.
Thank you very much. Val,
I,
Carrie,
Aye.
Abby,
I,
and I also. So that takes care of that one.
I'm an aye too, Madam
Um,
Chair.
I'm sorry. I thought I'd gotten you, Steve. Sorry.
No need to
sorry.
apologize.
I'm getting cross-eyed here. So our next one is Lily Street, 6 Lily Street, Gifford, for renovations, which is CWA.
Yes, hello, Chip Webster here. Can you hear me okay?
yes.
Hello, everyone.
I can hear you.
All right.
So
So this is
give us a
for,
clue. What you want.
sorry, Madam Chair.
No, go on and tell us what you've done.
Okay, thank you. So this, as a reminder, is for proposed renovations at existing house at 6 Lily. There are no proposed changes to the footprint of the house. The majority of the renovations are interior. Actually, this is a great place to start. At the first viewing, I was under the impression that the only visibility was from Lily Street. And at the first meeting with HCC, it was pointed out to me that there is a walking path that is a land bank path a few houses down. Actually, if you don't mind, scroll back to the photographs, if you would, please. We did walk that, and we've took photographs from that path, and we've added those to the application. Those are the 3 vertical photographs on the right-hand side. So you can see from that walking path, there is a pretty tall fence, but you can see over the fence, and you can see the second floor of 6 Lily. So if we scroll down to the elevation, we had originally proposed, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner of this, doors with transoms on them on the second floor. The transoms were going to match transoms that exist on the first floor. However, based on that visibility, we have removed the transoms and we've lowered the eave height of that dormer to match, as you can see, and the revision to match the existing eave height. And I turn it over for comments.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes.
We do have historic structures comments
Okay.
based on the revisions. And thank you, Chip, for the photographs. That actually was really beneficial. Historic structures took a look at this on March 15th. Their concerns are the dormer change is an improvement, but still too many French doors at the second floor deck. The front door facing Lily Street is very visible. Should not be a triple French door. And possible future visibility of the 6-window unit from North Liberty Street. And there was a comment that if you all are so inclined to approve it in that regard, that there should be a caveat on not visible in perpetuity from that direction. Recommendations: change triple French doors in dormer to 2 single doors with windows. change the front door to a single, more traditional looking front door with flanking separated windows, and then separate the ganged windows on the south. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Has everybody seen the south elevation? I've got the north up. Which elevation are they talking about, please, as the front door?
It would be the east elevation. So I think maybe you need to scroll. Yeah, there we go. So if I may, Madam Chair, I can walk you through this.
Yep.
On each of these elevations in the upper right-hand corner, we put a small site plan to help orient when you're viewing. So if you're looking in the very upper right corner, you'll see this is an unusual house in that the entry is set back very far from Lily Street. So you walk down a couple of steps and through a outdoor courtyard to get to the entry, which is on that rear mass. So I just wanted to point that out so that when you're looking at the elevation, you can see how far, envision how far back that entry is.
Right. I see that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. All righty. We'll start with Steve Welch again.
Thanks, Madam Chair. So while we're looking at the east, Chip, no offense, but I think that this, memory serves your 3-door configuration with the transom and this kind of portico approach. It kind of echoes, but also amplifies what exists. Currently, there are a double set of windows with a transom over them, kind of where the two windows on the left, the two doors on the left are. And to the right, there is a small covered entry that has a single door that's a 15 light. The difference in this makes this look to me almost inappropriate and almost like a commercial entryway. And I don't think it really works well. I think what is there is more appropriate. And then I have some question on the windows above and the gable. Are there any existing pictures as opposed to going from memory on this? I think that there's two windows in the gable currently. One is smaller than the other. One is offset. Yeah, can we zoom in on from the Lily Street image? A little to the right, Kadeem. There you go. And that image that's under site photos. So I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, that one. If you could zoom in a little bit. Chuck, I'm trying to figure out how you're going to get in two windows that look to be larger than the smaller window in that space. And then I think I may be corrected that you already, are those two windows that are tall that have a transom over them, or are they doors?
I'm pretty sure they're doors, actually. So it's a pair of French doors with a transom and a separate 15 light French door with that entry. In answer to your other, so what we're really doing is taking the existing, substantially, the existing amount of glazing and reconfiguring it. That being said, just to hop to address the comments of HSAP, we would be fine with changing that triple door configuration to a single door with separated flanking windows at that entry, which I think would, it would be actually less glass than is there currently. And I think it would be a little more entry-like.
Okay, that may also address my concern too. So on the other elevations, the west elevation, no concern. The south elevation, I guess, was okay. And I do think on the north elevation, I appreciate dropping the transoms from the design. I'm a little confused though. What else Okay, so if we're looking at the existing or the previous submission, you've got bubbled the a portion of the dormer, but the termination point at the ridge is different than what you're proposing. So what actually is being changed is what I want to know.
Actually, if we zoom in, I believe the termination, we're not proposing changing the termination point. So let's zoom in and see. I think in both cases.
Yeah, this is, no,
Yeah,
it's right on, it's within inches of the ridge where the other one is
Okay.
at least a foot.
We're not proposing, there is an existing dormer there. We're not proposing changing the termination point. So it would match existing. The difference between our original design and what we're proposing now is in our original design, we proposed raising the eave on that dormer fairly substantially to accommodate those transoms and even some more. And if you look at our current proposal, we've dropped that eave back down to the height that it is existing, which you can see matches that eave on that adjacent gable to the left. So, and just to be clear, we're not proposing changing the intersection point at the top of the gate of that shed dormer from what currently exists.
Okay. And then my last comment would be, I think on that elevation, to the extent it's visible from the pond, the walk path, if two sets of 3 doors is too much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Val?
You're muted, Val.
Sorry. I agree with everything that Stephen said. And my main concern is that whatever side, south, facing the land bank?
Yeah.
It's north.
That one, yeah. Because your pictures very clearly show that that second floor can be seen. So I agree. I think it needs to calm down with regard to the French doors there. And I like HSAB's suggestion of the other side just being not seen in perpetuity with because I don't think you'll see those windows, the neighbor will, but and Stephen's suggestions on the front. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yep.
Thank you. Carrie?
I have nothing new to add. I'm in agreement with everybody.
Abby?
Staying on that north elevation right there, that is directly what you can see from the land bank walk if you're in the lily pond looking back. So I think it's over French doored. And I'd like to see a reduction in French doors. Maybe that becomes windows on one side. I see you're looking for sort of symmetry and repetition there, but I think that second floor has to be reduced. On the front of the building, the front door, what is that that window it's sort of like in a white painted trim? Could we go to the front of the house, the skinny end?
If I may, Madam Chair, that's best seen in that original photograph. If we scroll back to the original photos, I can, and then it's that upper left-hand photo.
Yeah, what's above the front? Does
Yeah,
that? Yeah, go ahead.
It's sort of it's an odd, I think it was intended to look as if it was a door that was maybe like in a barn that you would open to put things through. It isn't a door at all. It's just a small window that has on the exterior some trim and a sort of a faux panel on it underneath. And I believe that the reason it was, I'm just guessing. I don't know why it was done that way. And it doesn't line up with anything either. As you can see, it doesn't either line up height-wise with the other window on that floor, nor does it line up with the existing front door. It's just this, I think it was intended to maybe look a little quirky or something. It serves no function.
It's existing though, right, Chip? It's existing?
Yes, the photograph that we're looking at is its existing configuration.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just, okay, can I finish?
Yeah, that's what,
Okay, thank you. Because there are a lot of, there are a lot of barns around that area and they all backed up to the lily pond. And I'm just wondering if it isn't somehow a historic something. And I kind of like the front door as it is. So I would like to see, it seems it's a little elaborate with 3 French doors. I'd like to see that simplified back to something more like what exists now. And maybe you could get us a little history on what you might think that little historic looking thing is, so we know we're not getting rid of something important. Thank you.
thank you. I think I got everybody, except I would just say that I agree with Steve. But I would like to see the front door being kept small. I think we have enough glass there if it were less panes of glass. But I just think putting side lights on would be too much. It's a lot of glass and a lot of it exists. So anyway, that's what would we like to do? Would we like to?
Madam Chair, make a quick comment.
Yes.
Thank you. I would be happy to make the modifications that Steve had recommended at that entry, as well as the modifications that HSAB had recommended, and it seemed many members agreed with on that second floor, which was specifically changing the triple doors to a single door with windows flanking. Those would be easy changes. I'd be happy to make those if that would pleasure the board.
Thank you. So that would be a good motion for holding for slight revisions, or do you want to approve it through staff? What would your choice be?
I think we should see it, just to see it.
Yes, please hold for revisions.
All right, thank you. Stephen,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Abby on yours,
Aye.
and I'm an aye too. So that will be good. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for
Okay.
your,
Madam Chair, quick question.
yes,
Sorry, was that a view or a hold for revisions?
Hold for revisions.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So it's close enough to 2:30 that we may want to just adjourn unless you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you said.
Okay.
no. I was like, what?
Perfect.
Okay, so how about it, folks? Do we need to do any other business stuff before we adjourn? All right.
So does that,
we did
Mr.
not.
Chair, could I ask a question, Mr. Chair? It's Andrew Kotchin.
What?
So does that mean if I'm actually left is the next one on the agenda, does that mean on Tuesday I'll actually be first, or will there be like 10 things put in front of me?
No, you'll.
Just curious.
you're gonna
No,
be first.
Linda held her.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, 61
Oh, see,
paragraphs.
Val,
will be
Linda-
first.
see,
Linda
Val, I
held
knew it.
hers.
I knew there
I'm
was
sorry.
something. Thank you.
Almost.
All right, almost.
All right.
Things, it's.
you'll be
seven.
second.
You'll be seven.
Second, which is 15, which is 15. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Great, thank
thanks,
you.
everyone. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Wait.
moved.
All right, Stevens made the motion to adjourn. On the motion, Diane,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Ray, aye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you on.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Team.
Carrie, I'm going to shoot you an email.
Got it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.